I did a video on how I manifested the impossible even with doubt. And then some people asked how I did it. And I did another video on how I manifested everything that I manifested. And some people mentioned that it wasn't very clear on the steps I actually took to manifest these things. So I'm going to give you 5 clear steps of what I did to manifest everything I wanted. Okay, so these are the things you can do too. 5 clear steps. And if you haven't watched the other videos, check them out. And but yeah, this is what you need to do if you want to manifest anything in your life. Now I've put them in order. I've written them down. And the first one you need is to manifest anything is self-love. So that's the first thing I worked on and the first thing that started shifting everything for me. If you don't come from a solid sense of self, if you don't have a self-love, and this is self-concept, self-worth, it's hard to say, anything like all tied in together, okay? If you don't have self-love, you're not going to believe that it's even possible for you, okay? So you need to work on your self-love. You need to think you're worthy for whatever it is you want. You need to believe that you're the best, that you're amazing, because that's what's going to help you move towards these goals, which are probably not in your life at the moment. That's why you're watching this video. So self-love is so important, and it was drilled into my head before I really got this, and I thought, oh, okay, I have to work on my self-love. And as soon as I did, everything started shifting. Everything in my life, money, love, all of it, health, I was just having a better life when I loved myself. I read the book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. I was watching a lot of YouTube. I was meditating to build up my self-love. But yeah, the book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It, is what you need to read. That's exactly what I did, what it tells you. There's steps in that book, okay? So number 2 was I knew what I wanted and believed it was possible for me. Okay, so I knew what I wanted. I got very clear on what I wanted. I wanted to work remotely. I wanted a dog that was awesome. I wanted a partner, a relationship. Okay, I wanted to manifest money. I wanted to get out of debt. I wanted to be debt free and have savings. So I knew what I wanted, and then I believed it was possible for me, okay? So we all know everything's possible, but sometimes we can look at people and think, that's possible for them because they've got rich parents, or they've just always been lucky in love, or all of those things. Those are probably the things that I thought in the past. So I had to believe it was possible for me, even with all my stupid circumstances, even with my upbringing, even with the fact that I met 100 guys that were not treating me properly, or that, and my relationships never worked out, even though I was in $40,000 worth of debt with no potential other earning income source, just earning the same amount of money and no thoughts on how I could earn a different amount. I had to believe it was possible for me, because it is possible for everyone and all of us, but you have to believe it's possible for you. Otherwise, if you don't believe it's possible, you're not going to move towards it. Your subconscious mind isn't going to move you towards whatever it is you're wanting. Okay, so number 3 was I stepped into the version of me that already had it. So I stepped into a version of me, especially with the money, because that was really dire at the time. I ran out of money. I stepped into a version of myself, which was me, that was rich. I dressed better. I looked better. I stopped drinking. I took care of myself. I did things, went to the gym, did things that I thought were similar to what someone who was rich and had a lot of money. I stopped thinking like going to the supermarket and thinking, oh, that's expensive. Oh, I'll get the cheapest version. Oh, I can't buy new towels because I can't afford it. I'm poor. No, I was like, no, this is my new normal. So I need these things, and don't overspend while you're doing it. Like I said in the other video, or one, I can't remember what video, I bought new towels, but they ended up being 50% off. Even though they were really the luxurious towels that I always would have wanted, but thought they were too much. They weren't even that much. They were like $20 or something, you know. Your mind changes, and then you can have the things. They might be on sale or on special. So I stepped into the version of me that already had it. And with relationships, I stopped accepting bad behavior. I loved myself, so I thought I was pretty good. So I wasn't even attracted to the guys that weren't interested in committing or whatever it was. So I stepped into that person. Now, what I want to say is manifesting isn't a tick box thing. You have to try a whole bunch of stuff. And it takes time. And just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You have to keep believing. I've been manifesting some things for so long, and I always believe that it will happen and the circumstances will present itself for me to move forward on it. And I always have faith. But if you give up, if you don't persist, then it won't happen. It really won't happen. But it's a lot of faith. It's a lot of belief that it can happen. And you believe it's going to happen when you love yourself, you step into the person that already has it. Then number 4, I use the techniques. Okay, so affirmations, journaling, scripting, visualization, SATs. I used all of the techniques. Sometimes I meditated. I meditated a lot when I started at the very beginning. I don't meditate really anymore, but I did a lot and it changed my life. I used a lot of affirmations at the beginning. I really drilled in. I pretty much was robotically affirming. I love myself. I love myself. In my head, just on my lunch break, all day, every day, I was affirming whatever I thought I wanted, like, was mostly self-love stuff. But, you know, I could affirm he's obsessed with me or anything that made me feel better, because the thoughts in my head were pretty wild. You know, I was constantly ruminating on things and thinking about the problems, or I'm not good. And it was a lot of noise in my head, and I had to drown that out with good thoughts. Okay. So affirmations, scripting. I love scripting as though I've already got it. Oh, wow. I can't believe I live in a place by the beach and I work remotely and have an awesome dog and my partner's really cool. I did that. I scripted all that years ago. I scripted all of that. Okay. That really helped, made me feel good. It makes you feel good. And then you think it's possible. It's already there. You're just living in the reality, but it hasn't shown up in your 3D. Okay. And visualization, visualizing is really easy for me. I've always been a daydreamer. I've always been able to visualize things. So I find that very easy, but consciously I did it, and I would do it before sleep. I would always visualize what I wanted, and it would make me happy. And I'd drift off to sleep feeling good. And it doesn't matter what it is, just they talk about visualizing the end. Right, so go to the end of whatever your manifestation is, like driving the car, because like the G-Wagon. I want a G-Wagon. That's one of my big manifestations. Not yet, haven't got it yet, but soon, at some point. Anyway, yeah, so that was number 4. Number 5, I persisted. I just talked about this early on. Okay, I wrote, even when nothing was showing me it was going to happen, even when things were seemingly going in the opposite, I persisted. I continued to believe. I didn't give up. I knew it would happen for me. So yeah, there were so many times where people say, oh, how's this going? And I'm like, oh, it's okay. nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. The job wasn't there, the remote job. I was still having to live in the 3D. You can't just give up on life. You still have to live in the 3D. You still have to maintain your relationships, your friendships. You can't just constantly do techniques all day, or just if it's not there, then you give up. No, I believed always. I always believe in every manifestation I have. I believe, and it can come around in a really weird way. Like, I did not think that I would be remote working in this way. I actually have another YouTube channel. If you want to see what that is, I can drop the link below. And I thought I would maybe be remote working because I was a YouTuber. But no, that's not. But so it's good to be open about your manifestation. You may think you want that specific person, but really you want the relationship and the family or whatever it is. So it could be a different specific person. You can have whatever you want, but I wanted to work remotely, and I had an idea that, that seems like maybe a content creator would have that lifestyle. Well, no, there's other ways of getting what you want. And I just constantly believed that it was going to happen at some point. And it did. And I've been living it for 3 years. And same with everything I've manifested. I just kept persisting. And they say persisting, which means just don't give up. Stop saying, oh, I tried, I'm trying to do this, but it's not working. Well, you need to change something. And whatever is coming into your 3D gives you an idea of what you've been thinking, because your thoughts create your reality, obviously. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I just want to say, you don't have to be perfect. I'll do a whole video on this. You don't have to be perfect to manifest. There's been times where I'm so bogged down in the 3D and I'm thinking like a human. And then I have to say to myself, you're the creator. You are the creator. Your thoughts create your reality. You have control. And then I remember that, and then I think differently, and it gets a lot easier. And now it's a lot easier to do that because I've proved to myself that I can manifest what I want, and I believe in it so strongly. But yeah, those are the 5 clear steps. I hope that was clear enough. If it wasn't, let me know. I'll do another video if I have to. I don't mind. And yeah, let me know what you've manifested or what you're manifesting. Put a comment down below. Please subscribe to my channel. That would be really good. And yeah, do all those things, and I'll see you in the next video.